Hey, it's Joe, and this is Sane-ish. It's August, and I'm about to enjoy my happy place down the shore. So things are a bit of a mess right now. Biblical in the headlines, bonkers in the back channels. I've been writing some posts lately about how we're all living through these absurd times, from South Park brilliantly and mercilessly roasting Kristi Noem, because someone's got to call out the nonsense, to that surreal moment of Trump and his crew taking a wrecking ball to the Rose Garden. So today I wanted to bring in someone who knows how to take that chaos, cut it apart, and turn it into something fierce, funny, and true. John Fugelsang's been roasting the hypocrites, calling out the holy hell from the stage, and now he's got a new book out, Separation of Church and Hate, which is exactly what it sounds like, a hard reset on faith hijacked by hate and greed. We're going to dig into why this book is coming at just the right time. I've always had a love-hate relationship with my hair.
Oh, I wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah, right. Well, your COVID hair was epic.
Oh, I know.
You were like Jesus.
Oh, I was like John Wick during a Moroccan oil shortage. It was just flowing. It was horrible. I looked like a pet hoarder, is what I looked like back then. That's what they call that look at the salon, the pet hoarder. I mean, like, my hair, it was not a flattering look. Is what I'm trying to say. I let myself go hair wise.
I don't agree. No.
During the pandemic, it was what I call if Beethoven fucked Loki. That was the hair that I had, and that was the look I was going for at that time. It was bleak.
I think we can stop recording now. I think I have everything I could ever need.
This is great. Thank you so much. My book's on sale September 9th, guys. Thank y'all. One love, y'all. God bless.
Okay. Welcome back to the Sane podcast.
Thank you. It's nice to be here again.
Not a Fugelsang. John, I was just on Stephanie Miller's show, just wrapped at noon, and everyone says hi.
You okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, I
don't do anything they tell you to do that doesn't feel right. That's all I want you to know. Like, you don't have to do anything those people say, Joanne. I've told you this before.
You're telling me too late, unfortunately, because damage is done. I'm going to be walking funny for a few weeks, but it's fine. They told me that it was born out of love, so I trusted them.
That's what my abuser said to me, Joanne. So just you're on your journey. What can I say?
But here's why I wanted to tell you that I was on it, that they said, hi, Chris and Steph and I. This is going to sound like ego stroking, but whatever. When you come out of the gate the way you did today, we all agreed that you're basically the smartest person we know.
What?
So there's that. Yeah.
That's
don't
not
tell
even
them
true.
I said that. But yeah.
That's not true, but thank them for me. Thank them.
Yeah. But not just smart, right?
I love LA. I love fake LA people. That is so awesome. Go on, please.
But yeah, I'm Jersey, and I shoot straight. There's more than some of the men I dated could say, but nonetheless, but you are smart and funny, and not just. It's like your humor is so smart, and it's informational.
That's the Beethoven fuck Loki joke, right? That's what you mean is smart and informational. Thank you. I like to reach the cerebral folks out there. That's very important to me.
There was a Moroccan oil joke, layer.
Yes, there was a Moroccan oil joke in there. Yes,
that's next. That's deep. That's deep. So let's just jump in, because you tweeted, the guy who had DC cops beaten for a lie is calling out the National Guard for all that DC crime. And if you're reading this, you're still not distracted from the Epstein files. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, first off, can I just say I'm worried about the man. Okay. Because he's not a well man. I don't know if your listeners know this, but the doctor checks his cholesterol with a dipstick. Okay. He's not a well man. His blood type is ranch. Okay. So I just need you to know, his hairpiece has high blood pressure. Okay. Like, he's not, his belt is actually a tourniquet. We're worried about the man. And I don't want these jokes. These are not jokes about his appearance. These are jokes about the fact that his pulse comes with a side of fries. He's not well. And we just care about the man. He has to take a golf cart to get to his golf cart. Okay. And this is he tried to fire his pancreas. I'm just concerned. His ankles look like he's smuggling ham hocks, people. Can you liberals put aside your petty differences and just the man's body is 40% Crisco. Can we just put aside our petty grievances and just care about his health? Because his treadmill suit him, okay? Like his dietitian became a monk. Can we have some compassion for this man? His shadow has sleep apnea, folks. A little compassion. He's the president, and he's not well. He asked his doctor if Adderall counts as a vegetable. This is my whole act now, by the way. This is all I do. This is just this. I'm sorry.
I mean, but to your point, no. And by the way, can we just sidebar on the fact that clearly he's not well, but that he's intentionally painted orange, not just like a little bit orange.
Well, and I'm glad you brought this up because this is what I came to talk about. When you're a white supremacist and you spray tan yourself to appear more white. To appear less white. You're not doing it well, okay? When you're a white supremacist who's literally trying to be less white, you're cock-blocking your own hate, all right? And it's sending mixed signals to the folks at home. And normally Trump supporters are so focused on the facts. So just consider it. I mean, that's how America can have Stephen Miller, a Jewish boy who grows up to become a Nazi, and we can be a place where white supremacists can make themselves orange and not lose fans. We're number one.
Well, not only is it that they've accepted and normalized that he's orange, we've got like Dr. Oz and Lindsey Graham and others like almost cosplaying as Oompa Loompa, upside down Oompa Loompas too. Now that it's like with the red ties.
Yes,
and
the cover up is worse than the crime. And don't trust someone whose makeup artist hates them. That's the real story. And when Ken Burns finally makes his 700-hour documentary about this period, it's going to be about how a man's makeup artist hated him and tried to send us signals. The entire blend. I even know this. For God's sakes, he looks like a tragic old drag queen giving out hand jobs behind the 76 station. It's tragic. I mean, it's basic foundation. It's basic pancake.
Donald Trump is a convicted felon who, in the interest of keeping himself in an office he lost, incited a deadly attack, a violent attack on our Capitol, which happens to be in Washington, D.C., and then did not call the National Guard for hours while it unfolded. And today,
that's Pelosi's job. I guess she finally got with the program. Thanks, Nancy.
Right. Which he pointed out today, by the way, is his job. It is in his purview to put the National Guard in Washington, D.C. But today now they're going into D.C. because it's the most dangerous city in the world. The most dangerous city in the entire world, according to him. He has charts. Charts. We doubled Baghdad. We doubled, Lima, Peru. And now, even though crime is
down in D.C., yes.
Right. So now the National Guard. So what's this all about, John?
It's about a lot of things. They obviously, it's about distracting us from the Epstein files. I mean, you want to go with the most basic thing? It's about Rosie O'Donnell having her citizenship threatened after she leaves the country. It's about saying that you're going to fire Jerome Powell and then saying at the end of the day, you didn't mean you were going to fire Jerome Powell. It's about releasing these MLK files at 2 a.m. after his family begs you not to do it. I could go on. It's about saying that we're going to have a special prosecutor to go after Barack Obama for trying to rig an election that I won. I mean, it's not working. None of it's working. So obviously they have this hard on for taking over D.C. And this is substantially more cops per square foot than they ever deployed to Los Angeles. And what you're going to witness now is a giant authoritarian battle to wrest control of the city away from the mayor's office and away from the folks who live there. These are people who don't care about D.C. The Republican Party is so opposed to making D.C. a state. They believe in taxation without representation, one of many things the founders fought for that they reject. This is going to be an elaborate distraction that's going to blow up in their face again. This is not going to work out for Donald Trump long term. And the best case scenario for Trump is that this eventually fizzles out after a week or two, like L.A. did, and the Marines or the National Guard is quietly sent home. What I think we're witnessing here is proof that the liberals were really wrong about one thing with this guy, and that is that we keep waiting for the non-millionaires to break up with him. we should be watching for the oligarchs to break up with him, because I think that's what's actually happening right now. I think the people who own this country, the landlords of this country, the people who do not count Trump as one of their own, but they will play golf on his cute little courses, these people don't need him anymore. They got the largest wealth transfer from the 99% to the top 1% in the history of the country. They got their crypto loophole bills all signed. They got their deregulation that they can pollute and poison your kids' air and water and soil all they want. And now they don't need this irritating douchebag anymore. They got everything they wanted and they're done. This is like a Bond villain pushing a button that says delete asset. Now, Donald Trump is like the guy who stands in front of the billionaire's velvet rope and says, no poors allowed in here. But he's not really one of them. And Rupert Murdoch is. And Rupert Murdoch ran this story as soon as the bills were signed, as soon as the crypto bill, as soon as the ink was dry on the crypto bill. Rupert Murdoch ran an article in the Wall Street Journal about Trump's card to Jeffrey Epstein's birthday. Like 2 days later, Trump responded by suing for $22 billion, which is laughable. And the oligarchs and Rupert Murdoch know it's laughable because Donald Trump would chicken out before it ever got to the discovery phase. He's not really suing Rupert Murdoch for $22 billion. And Rupert called his bluff. You know how he did it? As soon as Trump sued him, Rupert put out a whole article that Pam Bondi told him in May that he was in the Epstein files. That's how seriously Rupert Murdoch took Donald Trump's $22 billion lawsuit. Can you believe who we're cheering for? Can you believe 6 months in, we're cheering for Harvard University, the Catholic bishops, and the Wall Street Journal? Good God. I think the oligarchs are breaking up with him, Joe. They don't need him anymore, and they are getting all they can get out of him, and they can get just as much value out of a J.D. Vance or another one of the Bushes as from this racist clown. They're done. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to protect him anymore.
Right. And I think you're on 100% onto the right path here. And with J.D. Vance in particular, J.D. Vance, who is as broken and lost as any human being could be. By the way, between us, from what I understand, the Secret Service name for Usha is the beard.
I had no idea, really.
Yeah, so I hear. But J.D. Vance was created by oligarchs like Peter Thiel,
correct,
and Curtis Yarvin, and J.D. Vance went up to whatever resort or wherever Murdoch lives to talk to them. Ostensibly would have seemed to help with the Epstein scandal, but of course then another story dropped from the Wall Street Journal after J.D. Vance's visit. So it's like J.D. Vance doesn't work for Donald Trump. J.D. Vance works for Peter Thiel and Curtis Yarvin. And if anybody doesn't know who Curtis Yarvin is, because I didn't.
Oh, it's like porn for the angels.
Look this fucker up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is beautiful. It's starting to get beautiful. Go on, please. Tell him.
Well, no, that's it. It's just that Donald Trump has exhausted most of his usefulness, and now he's just a fucking liability.
Yes. And this is for the House and Senate as well, because he's not running for office ever again. And the folks who come down from the mountains to vote when Mr. Trump is on the ballot, the folks who come in from the swamp to vote when Mr. Trump is on the ballot, they don't come in 2018 or 2022 or 2026 when Mr. Trump is not on the ballot. So he's used up his value to the oligarchs and to the Republicans in his own caucus. He can turn against them, but he can't really help them. He can hurt some of them. But Thomas Massie, good God, look at that despicable profile and courage. I mean, he's modeling how to stand up against it because he doesn't care. He knows that his caucus will send him back for his independence. And the most important thing when this thing is done, and it's ended like the last scene in Scarface, is that Democrats and the media and the rest of the world don't make the same mistake we made when Bush and Cheney left office and we let all their accomplices off the hook. I am telling you, the Democrats who run in 2026 promising accountability, promising hands on Bibles in front of cameras in Congress for this administration, the Democrats who run saying, you rat bastards loot all you want now, but there's going to be justice and the Constitution comes back in 2027, those Democrats are going to crush in the fundraising. I mean, let's get along nice is not going to sell this year.
No, which kind of helps me pivot, though, to what the Texas Democrats are doing right now, what Gavin Newsom is promising to do, and J.B. Pritzker is promising to do, and even Kathy Hochul is promising to do in terms of the gerrymandering that the Texas Republicans are trying to put into place in Texas, which basically eliminates any possibility of at least 5 seats going to Democrats.
Yeah.
And so some of the Democrats right now, so these blue state governors like Newsom and Pritzker and Hochul, they're saying, okay, you want to do that? First of all, Texas Democrats fled so that they can't have the quorum, but also these governors in these blue states are like, okay, we're going to fight fire with fire. And I got to say, even if they're posturing for, potential runs for president, this is the way. This is absolutely the way that it needs to be done.
And they're drawing, and the longer it goes on, the more attention that is drawn to it is very, very good. The more Americans learn about redistricting and gerrymandering, everybody out there should go ahead and just Google the shape of any Republican or any Democratic congressman's district. Just go Google the shapes. Look at go Google the shape of Jim Jordan's district in Ohio. And you'll understand how they do all they can do to make sure that heavily concentrated Black areas are broken up as much as possible. So those votes are absorbed bit by bit into much larger white districts. It's the oldest trick in the book. They do it. It works. And it's a great story to watch. And it's going to be in the news for quite a while. But again, Joanne, here's the deal with this one. This is happening because of the Epstein files. This is happening because Donald Trump is looking at the polls and he believes them and he knows the polls are true. They are cheating this hard in deep red Texas, a year and a half in advance. They're cheating this hard. That's how scared they are. And y'all got to remember that. I mean, these guys know how unpopular they are. They know these tariffs aren't going to work. They know the economy is not going to be a thing they want to defend a year from now, nor will Trump, by the way. Trump's arteries are doing what they're here to do. I mean, that could change any time. That's just they're just doing what the Lord needs them to do. I hope he lives a very, very long time, personally, preferably somewhere in The Hague. But I mean, it's not going to be a good year to be a Republican next year. And so the whole thing for me with the redistricting is to take a step back and recognize this is how goddamn terrified they are. Now, I don't want to see this become the Democrats redistrict their entire states to be all blue and, conservative voters are disenfranchised in blue states. That sucks as well. This is all embarrassing. But again, they're fighting back. Republicans are putting them in this position. Call their bluff. Call their bluff. When FDR tried to put more justices on the Supreme Court, he did it because 3 of them were dismantling the New Deal. And FDR wanted to have a deal where all justices over the age of 70 got together and voted together for one SCOTUS vote and adding more judges to the bench. And it wasn't popular, but those 3 judges backed down. FDR always gets decried in the history books as trying to strong-arm the court. He did a very Trumpian negotiation tactic and took the fight to them. So, I mean, I think Pritzker is modeling how to do this right now. And people want to see someone who's fighting for them.
The fact that we can say Republicans cheat, Donald Trump is a cheater. They are cheating. Not just they're cheating in these maps. They're cheating you out of your Medicaid. They're cheating you out of your Medicare, your Social Security.
That's the messaging,
your food nutrition, your nutrition assistance. I mean,
your food prices.
Right. Yes. Your disaster relief, your roads, your bridges, your workplace safety, your daughter's access to, gynecological care, your wife's ability to not die from a miscarriage. They're cheating you on all
your
these
nation's
things.
Standing around the world. They're cheating you out of U.S. soft power. I mean, they're cheating you out of having a respected, admired nation.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can just keep saying they cheat. They're cheaters. Donald Trump cheats at fucking golf. He cheated on his first wife with his second wife, on his second wife with his third wife. They're cheaters.
They don't care. They don't care. They do not care about that. All they care about is power. Okay. And this is what we have to remember. Yeah. Like Republican politicians really don't care about that. They don't care about abortion.
No.
They don't. I mean, if they cared about abortion, they'd fight for birth control access. They'd fight for expanded sex ed in schools. They'd fight anything to get those numbers of unwanted pregnancies down. They don't care about abortion. Whatever will help them gain power, they will exploit. They don't care about undocumented immigration. I've talked about it on your show before. If Republicans gave a damn about undocumented immigrants, they would make their buddies and donors take down the help wanted sign in our border.
Right.
You want to make them stop crossing the border? Go after the white people giving out the jobs. They will leave in a month. You lock up Caucasians for hiring these people in construction or nannies or gardening. Watch and see how right away. But they won't. They don't care about the issue. All they care about is power. And that's why I wrote the book, A Separation of Church and Hate, because they don't care about anything Jesus actually taught or commanded. And in fact, they despise most of what Jesus taught and commanded. But the religion is a way to get power, like abortion, like immigration. So that's why they'll talk about it. That's it. Once you understand that they just cravenly worship power because they think they deserve it because God likes them better, then you understand that a lot of these folks are beyond reason, but they don't care about the issues.
But Fat Superman is joining ICE.
Oh, so... yes. As a fan of comedy, I'm so here for it. You know what? I think, and good for ICE. I mean, ICE deserves to have America's 11th favorite Superman join their ranks. I think that's terrific. Dean Cain is polling somewhere below kryptonite, by the way, in the DC fan pages. DC and Dean Cain's always been. He was one of the first famous people I met when I was very young. My first trip to Vegas, I interviewed him, and I totally got who that guy was right there. I mean, he refuses to acknowledge that the character is an immigrant. He refuses to acknowledge that the character is an alien, and that an alien, an outsider, can represent the best of us. This happens in the Bible too. Jesus goes back to Nazareth early in his career, and he gives this whole sermon to his fellow Nazarenes about how, you know what, even when we the Jews were being bad people, there were foreigners who were being good people who God liked more than us. And the crowd tries to throw him off a cliff. Like sometimes suggesting that the foreigner has humanity will enrage the folks back home. And that's Dean Cain's whole game. I don't even want to kick him too bad because it's just so embarrassing. When he leaves ICE in a couple of weeks, I don't think the fanfare will be as great as when he joined it. He's an awful guy, but it's just, it's like watching your evil neighbor's pet die at this point. It's just, this poor bastard. I know he deserves it, but it's so pathetic.
Well, somebody told me, because Piers Morgan wanted me on to his show today after I talked to you to debate him about ICE. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. Piers has not been that nice to me. And a friend of mine said, I've met him many times, Joe. He's actually not that bad, but he's really stupid and you'll wipe the floor with him. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if that's worth it. But also the hypocrisy, which is going to bring me to the book, which we're going to close with, the hypocrisy of Dean Cain, whose grandparents were interned here in a Japanese internment camp. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't know that until yesterday.
Yeah, I did. I did.
And now he wants to be one of the people who's putting immigrants in camps.
He's going to racially profile now. He gets to do that. Yeah, that's success, right? That's full integration into American society. He gets to persecute. And that's the story of Christianity. It began as a small persecuted little sect, and it was co-opted by an imperial power, and it got to persecute other smaller sects out there. It is all the hypocrisy. And that's sort of why I wrote the book as well. I was on, I love having the immigration debate. I love it. I was on CNN a couple of weeks ago with our buddy Scott Jennings, who seems to be doing the opposite. Usually you work in politics and then you get your media career. Scott's working in media to go and run for office, I guess. But I mean, he started working for McConnell, but my whole thing with the hypocrisy and the immigration is, number one, the fact that they'll never go after the men like Donald Trump who do the hiring. They don't care. There's a giant help wanted sign at our border. There's no giant wall we can build to hide the help wanted sign, and there are no Republicans who want to take down the help wanted sign. They always raid the meatpacking plant and arrest the 400 illegals preparing our food. Never the white guys counting the money in the back room. It's a scam. We're all a part of it. That's how you know they don't actually mean it. But the worst part of it is when these guys, like Dean Cain, go and boast about their Christianity. And then they go with this same kind of ICE treatment, the Christians on immigration, the people who've taken us from welcome the stranger to no room at the inn. Now, again, I think that every society has to have standards on who they let in. I'm not saying open borders. I'm not saying amnesty. That was Ronald Reagan. That's what he ran on 45 years ago. Reagan and Bush, you can Google the debates and watch them competing over who likes amnesty and who likes open borders more. They both fought for it. That was the Republican Party back then, because that was how they were trying to gain power back then. Now they're trying to gain power by despising these folks. But you're allowed to hate them. You're allowed to be part of the hypocrisy that brings them here for an exploited workforce and then shits all over them. But hey, I love how cheap the strawberries are.
Right.
But you don't get to call yourself a Christian. The God of the Hebrew scriptures is unambiguous in his commands that his people welcome the stranger, treat the stranger as one of their own, never exploit or take advantage. We're not even allowed to push them around once they're here. You got to take them here, treat them like they're your own, and not push them around. And then Jesus shows up with the new covenant, and he don't make it any better, bigots. Jesus in Matthew 25 commands individuals and nations to do 4 things. The 4 things that'll make you a Christian nation, the 4 things that'll keep you and your country out of hell, and they are: take care of the poor, take care of the sick, welcome the stranger, be kind to prisoners. That's it. He commands individuals and nations. It's like his memo to the Heritage Foundation. He commands them to welcome the stranger and says, you will be judged by how well you do this. So again, I'm not saying you don't have to have standards on who you let into the country, but if you're going to boast of your Christianity and then do this xenophobic garbage, because the God of the Bible does not recognize our borders or invisible lines we create in the ground to separate our tribes. Donald Trump has hired these people since the 1980s because he doesn't want to pay a living wage to American workers. And the best thing y'all can do, whether you read my book or not, is when you're having this debate, don't play into their game. Don't call them illegals. Have they ever called a white lawbreaker an illegal? Donald Trump has 34 felony convictions. Make your opponent, your debater, call him an illegal. They can't do it. Call them Christian refugees. That's what they are. They're overwhelmingly Christian from Mexico and Central and South America, and it will infuriate your uncle racist if you call them Christian refugees. Trust me, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, again, it's to close with the book, Separation of Church and Hate, A Sane Person's Guide to Taking Back the Bible from Fundamentalist Fascists and Flock Fleecing Frauds. It's out September 9th, right? Is the release date, I think?
Yes, I got pushed back 2 weeks.
But some things are worth waiting for. This is one of those things. It's not a Trump 2 weeks. It's not never coming 2 weeks. It's
2 weeks. You'll see it in 2 weeks, folks. It's going to be people are walking up to me now saying, "Sir, it's the most beautiful delay of a book we've ever witnessed before."
Tears in their eyes. Yeah, great big strong people. But this is what is so interesting again about this conversation, about the book, about you, is that it says here, and a summary of the book, he invites laughter as he walks through Scripture in order to reclaim it. That part, in order to reclaim it, because they have co-opted this.
Yes.
And people are lazy. People don't do the work. They so put it in a book that they can pick up.
That's why I wrote it.
Thumb through and say, oh my God, well, that's bullshit that you just said that. You're co-opting this. You're not actually embodying the things that you say. You're lying. You're using them to get away with atrocities. And reclaiming the Scripture is so important.
These are people who hide behind a giant shiny gold cross to take a big dump on the New Testament. They don't follow it. They don't believe it. They don't read it, but they use it as spiritual camouflage. And I wrote this book as like a guide to camouflage removal. Don't let them hide behind this false piety of a book that they don't follow, they don't believe in, verses that they take out of context, which we all do, but most of us don't take Bible verses out of context and weaponize them to hurt people less powerful than us. These people don't get to hide behind this book anymore. And the great thing is, and I wrote this book for atheists too, you don't have to believe in any part of the Bible as literal fact to use it against these frauds. We can together thump Bible thumpers with the Bible, because throughout the whole history of Christianity, it's always been people who follow Jesus and non-Christians who push back against the batshit Christians. So, it's I just got sick of seeing these people using Jesus as a cloaking device for meanness. And so this is a book that'll show you how fun it can feel to call them out on their own terms.
Yeah, it really does feel. I mean, look, that's how I got my start on Twitter was just getting in the replies and calling people out on their bullshit. And it's very cathartic. But so is the humor. And that's what like I was talking to Steph about before, about how comedy, whether it's South Park or whether it's your book or whether it's, Colbert or John Oliver or Jon Stewart, comedy is catharsis. And to me, the heroes right now are the comedians, are the funny people, are the people
Always,
like you
always.
who manage to weave it all together and deliver information that helps to dismantle so much of the awfulness. And laughing is medicine. It really is.
Yes. Well, thank you for saying that. Let's see how we do getting this book booked on corporate media and mainstream TV, because it's terrifying to a lot of people. But you're right. John Lennon said it. The only thing that fascists can't handle, they can handle violence, but they can't handle nonviolence and they can't handle ridicule. And Billy Wilder said, if you're going to tell people the truth, make it funny or they'll kill you. And throughout my life, comedians have helped me understand the truth better and have helped me through a lot of really dark times. And again, they want us gaslit. They want us terrified. They want us to feel like it's all helpless and the experiment has failed and America's done and that we're all going to just be, living underground in a silo, forced to listen to shitty 80s cock rock because it's Trump land. And you know what? These people are incompetent. And these people fail, and there's more of us than they are of them. Donald Trump failed to get half the people to vote for him 3 elections in a row. The majority who showed up to vote voted against this guy 3 elections in a row. Kamala Harris in this race for 100 days, and she got more votes than Obama got either time, more votes than Reagan got any time. This media gaslighting to make us think, it's also on the Democrats are unpopular. Well, the Republicans are more unpopular, and I'm not a Democrat. I look at the ideals. Democratic policies are incredibly more popular than Republican policies. Paid family leave and women's reproductive rights and taxing billionaires and Medicare covering vision, hearing, and dental. I could go on. They're all more popular than GOP policies. So we got to get beyond this gaslighting because the media is not our friend on this. The corporate media is not our friend on this. There's a lot of great journalists and a lot of great people, and I love corporate media. But we have to recognize they're not going to be the ones who are going to fight this battle. It's going to be all of us until there's too much of us to stop us. And it's already begun. This Epstein thing, the oligarchs are done with this guy, Joanne. And it's going to be a lot of fun watching him decompose in office over the next year and a half.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, as opposed to The Hague, I have a vision of him
What's
being...
yours?
So it's a cell that's all mirrors, but he doesn't have access to his makeup artists or his hair combers or anybody who can make him look like the Oompa Loompa. He looks like, and there's one window and it faces a windmill farm, and upwind from the windmill farm is a McDonald's factory that pumps out nothing but McDonald's French fry grease smell.
You've thought about this.
One last wrinkle is there's an audio that plays on a loop, and it's just Hillary Clinton laughing over and over and over again. So he's forced to look at himself to decompose. He's forced to smell McDonald's and look at a windmill farm while Hillary Clinton laughs. That's all. I haven't given it any thought.
Can all of the people who care for him be non-white, please? And also, may all people in positions of authority over him be female, please. I'm not trying to edit your script, but also perhaps maybe in this room of all mirrors, can the only clothing he's ever given access to be very small bikini briefs? And he has to see himself all day long in mirrors, so he either has the choice morning, noon, and night of seeing himself in bikini briefs or seeing himself with nothing. And would he be able to see the bikini briefs he was wearing? That's another question. See, a good storyteller knows the right questions to ask, Joanne. Thank you. I don't think about his life. I think about his I think about his funeral, as you know, because I don't want him to die. I don't. I want 3 ghosts to visit him Christmas Eve and make him a good person. But I think about his death. I think about the funeral. I think about who the pallbearers would be. Kim Jong-un and Ron Jeremy and the My Pillow guy. Probably, I don't know, Frank Stallone. Frank Stallone will sing there, and Rudy will be a pallbearer, but Rudy won't be tall enough to reach the casket, so he'll be jumping the whole time, trying to keep his hands on, and then his body will lie in state, and Putin will come in and grab by the lapels and say, "Where is to be my money, bitch?" and shake the core. And you gotta stay alive folks, should be healthy for Trump's funeral, because Melania's bringing a date. You know it. So and the casket, Joanne, it's going to look like Liberace's piano. Just think about it. Again, I don't want to die. I can wait a long time for this. I'd like him to have a very long, unpleasant time between now and when he finally expires. A very long life for him, long enough to see all of his grandkids change their last name in shame. But yeah, I'm like you. I'm an optimist.
Well, that's a perfect place to end. The book, Separation of Church and Hate, Sane Person's Guide to Taking Back the Bible from Fundamentalist Fascists and Flock Fleecing Frauds, out September 9th. Get it. Go get it. John, I love you. I tell you, my audience, they ask for you like you're a party favor. You come out and you dance for us so nicely.
Thank you. Oh, thanks. I'm codependent with all of you too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So listen, again, congratulations on Siren, and you know, it's always so nice to have you and to talk to your audience.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks to John Fugelsang for joining us today. Separation of Church and Hate hits shelves September 9th. Go get it, get loud with it, and keep fighting the good fight with sharp words and even sharper truth. If this episode landed for you, do that thing. Rate, review, and share Sane-ish with the people who need it. Until next time, stay strong, stay sane-ish, and take care of each other.